and welcome to the Dressing Gown Diary. I'm Lloyd and this is a review show of round one of the 2018 Week 1 Autumn Internationals and a preview show of Week 2. So let's kick things off with what happened at the weekend. Well, there were two big things that happened I'd like to focus on. The first, happened in Cardiff, was a Wales win in the first game in the Autumn Internationals for 16 years. Admittedly, it was against Scotland, and they are like lambs to the slaughter when they come to Cardiff. Their record there is appalling. It was a pretty good test match, though. It might have had the build-up feel of a testimonial for the Doddy Weir Foundation, but actually it was a bit cut and thrust. Wales played well. It was good to see George North scoring, barrelling over, and great to see Jonathan Davies also on the score sheet, back in a Welsh rugby shirt, been away for a while with injuries. So it was a solid win for Wales. They can reflect fondly on getting the W. The other big talking point of the weekend, why do you need arms in a tackle? This has been debated long and hard. What was Farrell doing? Was it a penalty? Should it have been a yellow card? I think you can reflect on this way. Firstly, the tackle looked worse than it was. The South African guy was not well prepared on his feet. He came in with his front foot was in the air, so he was off balance. So it looks worse than it was. There's chat about whether he was too high. Farrell did try to tackle him and did try to hit a big hit. But with the rules as they are about head contact, should that have been a penalty? Well, my views are Angus is a very good referee. I do like the way he referees the game, but I think if this was in a neutral venue or it was before the 70th minute at Twickenham, he would have given a penalty. I think he got nervous of the fact that it could have been a game-defining moment. However, South Africa should not be talking about this incident only as why they lost the game. They had a number of opportunities. Their possession was strong, their territory was strong, but they weren't able to execute the opportunities they were given. Sadly, one of my favourite England players, Elliot Daly, was at fault as well. Wasteful in his opportunities where England, he couldn't move the ball on. England, though, got the win. It's a massive win. It doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you get them. And is this about performance or was this really about just getting the win? Their defence was very strong. I'm not really sure about this co-captain bullshit, but we'll see how that plays out going forward. But getting a win against South Africa was a big plus. So this weekend's game, Ireland host Argentina. Ireland will expect to turn the Pumas over pretty easily. Argentina are an improving team, so it will be a tough ask for Ireland, but they should have enough in the tank. Scotland host Fiji. I've read that Gregor Townsend has described Fiji as the Brazil of rugby. Well, Brazil have won 5 World Cups. How many have Fiji won? Okay, I think you mean more that they're more like the Harlem Globetrotters. They're expansive. There are some great Premiership players these days who show week in, week out their skill sets, their long arms, their ability to offload and get the ball out of the tackle area is superb, and it will be a good game to watch. Two big games this weekend. Firstly, at the Millennium Stadium, Wales hosting Australia. Wales are on the back of a 13-game loss streak against Australia. A lot of those have been less than, some have been points, like 1, 2, 3. Low winning margin for Australia. Australia looking like they are a team that has struggled this season with their win record. Wales on the back of 6 wins. Surely this is the time they close it out. I find it interesting that Gatland has gone with his mate Gareth Anscombe at 10. Biggar was back. He wasn't available for the Scotland game because that game was played outside the window and Biggar plays in England. But Anscombe at 10. Hopefully, they can generate some more decisive midfield cutting areas with his mate Hadley Parks playing at 12. I do like that combination. It'll be interesting to see how Wales progress. They have got strong pack outs as well. Back row is good. It's going to be an epic test match, but you'd still have to fancy Wales with home advantage and on the winning run they're on. So I am pulling Wales as Freddie's flutter for the weekend. Back Wales to beat Australia. You can get in most markets 5 to 6, I think, on the home team. Most of the Dressing Gown Diary followers, though, I'm sure are more excited about England against New Zealand. This is a massive game. New Zealand last played at Twickenham in 2012 and we all know what happened. Manu Tuilagi bowled over everyone, but that was probably the pinnacle of England's performances in that and the Stuart Lancaster era. From then there was just a slow, steady decline that ultimately led to the lack of progress in the World Cup out of the group, which of course Wales and Australia progressed. The only home host of a World Cup not to get out of the group. Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning again. So New Zealand, they arrive in Twickenham. They've heard for years about Eddie Jones when he was progressing on that winning streak, how great we are, and blah, blah, blah. I think this is time for the top dog to show really what it's like to come up against a big team. New Zealand will want to smash England into next week. Will they be able to do it, though? There is the Twickenham factor. There's people like Owen Farrell, who's highly competitive. Will kicking become a big impact, big importance of this game? New Zealand are very, very worried about Beauden Barrett's ability to kick under pressure. There's no question that any England fan would be delighted to see it become a kicking game, knowing that Owen Farrell trumps Beauden Barrett every time if it's just off the tee. If it's down to a running game, it's going to be a different question. Be interesting to see how Owen Farrell defends in the 10 channel against Beauden Barrett. Beauden Barrett loves to run in broken play. Can that be closed down? I'm not sure where I sit on Ashton coming back into this starting lineup. He is a finisher, but whether he's still got that common sense and that ability to read the game, because defensively he's always been quite poor. So it'll be interesting to see how that setup in the back three progresses. But New Zealand will really want to put a marker down for next year. This and the Island game are the big games of their end of season tours. So they will want to walk away from Twickenham with a win, but not just a win, a convincing win. Can England stifle that? I mean, on most markets, New Zealand are 1 to 12, 1.12 to win. So it's a massive ask for England to step up. And I think Eddie Jones, if you ask him honestly, he'll be happy if they show performance and progress and don't get smashed into next week. The big part playing New Zealand is always the last 20 minutes. Wales have done it for years. They've stayed in the game up to the 50, 55, 60. They get over the 65 minute and suddenly New Zealand stretch away. So the quality of your bench is always important. But look, it's a great weekend of rugby coming ahead. Enjoy every moment of it. This is the Dressing Gown Diary over and out.